Good evening. Hundreds of passengers were once again left stranded over the weekend after storms forced the closure of the railway line at Dawlish for the second time in 2 days.
A combination of high tides and heavy rain exposed the fragility of the line and prompted the Plymouth Moorview MP Johnny Mercer to tweet criticism of the delays in delivering promised improvements to the line.
Our reporter Richard Lawrence is in Dawlish for us this evening. And Richard, just how bad were the conditions that led to the closure?
Well, it was quite a fierce storm. Both tracks here were soaked in water. It was hard to see the underpinnings of the rail line here. And also down under the underpass here, the water came right up to the edge of the main road here and the road flooded further down. And it raises the question once again, how much more can this seafront take? I've been following the storm and how it played out on social media. One passenger, Jesse Woodbridge, tweeted, "Can we have a new inland rail line now, please?" after others disembarking at Dawlish on Friday took a soaking. The scenes were caught on camera too by the Dawlish Beach Cam team, who constantly monitor the line for their followers and took to the streets to show its extent.
We've still got 30 minutes until high tide and the waves are now coming up under the boat.
Margaret Swift, who lives along the seafront, had to walk home in water up to her knees.
Horrendous, pretty horrendous. It was, if you like storms, it's great. I do like storms, but the waves were coming right over both lines, over the pavement into the road. The road was flooded from here right the way down to the far end.
Plymouth Moorview MP Johnny Mercer tweeted, "This is the main line link to the southwest tonight. It's the second time in 2 days it's closed in this weather. Hundreds stranded again. You can only have so many fights with your own side, but promises have not yet been delivered." It prompted the unusual sight of a Land Rover riding along the track for an inspection. But many people too have praised Network Rail for their swift response to reopen the line, and they're tired of Dawlish being used as a political football.
The time that Dawlish, or the stretch of Dawlish is affecting my travel is tiny compared to overhead lines at Paddington or the increase of electrification in Bristol. Those things are seriously impacting my ability to work. The Dawlish line has affected me twice in the last 4 years.
Dawlish Beach Cam say MPs jump up and down every time cross-country trains stop running their rolling stock, which can suffer electrical problems during high tides. And the line is far more reliable than people think.
As soon as that was released, it was down to Dawlish and we were inundated with questions as to whether the line was in the sea and whether trains were running. And this is typically what happens. So as soon as there's a closure anywhere between Exeter and Plymouth, then we get inundated with questions about it because it's perceived that the line is closed because of Dawlish weather, and it's just not true.
We're not even into proper winter yet, and we've already had a couple of ferocious storms, and you do begin to wonder, is this setting the tone for the rest of the winter? Obviously we don't know, but it is quite worrying.
Network Rail is working on plans to improve the seawall just here, but the long-term solution is still far from clear.
If it is unclear, Richard, why are these continued delays to the improvements there then?
Well, it is taking a lot longer. There is a lot of background work taking place, but the engineers concerned have asked for extra time to revise their calculations to try to put forward a positive long-term solution. The government, though, remains committed to its promise, it says, of delivering that solution.
This is very frustrating for all of us in Devon and Cornwall, that the government are making all the right noises about the money being available, but we are waiting on Network Rail to come up with a detailed engineering design and then putting it in place. Now, of course, it is complicated. They're going to be doing something which, as far as I know, doesn't exist in the United Kingdom at all, taking the track out over the sea and helping build resilience in that way. But we're waiting for them to come forward with the designs, and then we can start building it.
And of course, no one is putting a price on what the final cost will be, and also the exact timescale too. It's understood that it could be as early as next summer. I say as early as that will be 5 years after the anniversary of the Great Storm here in 2014 before we see those final plans being put on the table for the next level of discussion.
Richard, thanks very much indeed. Richard Lawrence in Dawlish for us this evening there.